Hi, Miss Shepherd. This is section 2 of Extend the Picture. So let's hope that you've managed to print off the picture. If not, don't worry, we'll get to it. So I am going to take one of these images. I'm going to take the section of Kandinsky picture and I'm going to cut that out. Okay. Now, if you have not got glue, but you have Blu Tack, that's great. If you've not got either of them, I believe flour and water is an option. Okay, so you could do that and stick that down. So that is option 1. I will get glue shortly to stick it down for myself. So you could choose where you want to put it on the page. Remember, I've just got everything in landscape at the moment because it's not practical to sort of teach that way all the time because it shoves everything off my desk, my space. This is not a very practical setup. So think about where you want it. You do not have to have that picture just smack bang in the middle. That is not always the best option. So you could have it up at the side, you could have it around, you could have it at an angle. Okay, so that is your choice. Okay, so that is one option. Now, the other option, okay, is finding the magazine image and cutting it out. And as I said earlier, if that is not an option, okay, then what you could do is then get your piece of wallpaper or pattern paper and stick that down in maybe in a couple of places and work with that. That is a possibility. So your wallpaper could be quite patterned and you can cut it out maybe as a square. You could maybe tear it. I wish I had an example now. Feel really bad that I don't. I'm just thinking if I can just, whilst I'll just go and over here, I don't know, maybe just give you an example of, it's not wallpaper, but I can give you an example because we've done wallpaper in school before, not with this class, where you could like maybe tear a sample of wallpaper, maybe placing it here, maybe placing it there, and then you could like draw and make up the patterns in between, join them and all together. Okay, you'll see a little bit of what I mean by using 2 separate pictures later, if I remember. This is the trick, isn't it? Remembering everything. Anyway, so the other option, as I said, was using a picture maybe that you found in a book. Maybe you've got it on your wall. And what you could do, because you can't obviously change that picture or cut that picture, I mean, there are a couple of options of what you could do. So I'm going to get my book here. Okay, so if you are not doing this option, right, and you're not having to copy from a book or anything, you can probably skip onto the next video, most likely. So just getting back to this, so you could take a piece of greaseproof paper or baking paper. You could cut it to the size of section you want. And maybe what you could do is then with that section is trace the details of the picture. Okay, if you can see it well enough. This is a bit dark. I haven't chosen the right image to work with, but it will give you an idea. So here I'm actually able to trace the sections that I want. Okay, so that might be possible if you have something that you can trace with. Okay, so it's hard to see through this. Okay, so I've got that, so I can actually whack that in there. Now, greaseproof paper, as you can imagine, is not the most perfect of solutions, and you just might be able to see that. If you've got copier paper, that can be just about thin enough, depending on your picture and contrast, to be able to trace through. It really does depend on your picture. Now, if you're going to take a section like this, what you need to do is be able to turn it over onto the other side. Now, you might like the image reversed, okay? And what you can do, you can draw over the lines as long as you turn it over, and they will transfer lightly onto your paper. As you can see, I'm starting to do it there, and it will transfer onto your paper. Now, you might not want that section reverse, so on a scrap piece of paper, you will go all the way around all the lines that you have drawn, silly noises as you work, Miss Shepherd. It all makes it more entertaining, seriously, not. Okay, so pretending that I've gone all the way around on the other side, then I turn it over and then I press quite hard, not too hard because I don't want to indent the paper. And then the image should start transferring lightly on there. Obviously, I'm having to go over it so that you can see clearly, okay? I mean, you could have a bit of fun with that. You could make a real mishmash picture. You could spend your time just moving around the image. You might have the section that you really like and you go, yeah, I really like that section. Yeah, I'm going to work with that. And, you know, you could actually repeat it and go round it a few times. That might give you some options to work with. So maybe those people have said, oh, you don't need to watch this bit. Maybe it might be interesting for you. So you could actually do a trace type picture, forming some unique pattern like that. See what happens when you're just thinking off the cuff, improvising. So you could end up with lots of very interesting shapes, and you could overlap shapes, all sorts of different things just based on your picture. Now, the problem is you might not have any of that. So what you could do is make a viewfinder out of some spare paper. If you are running short of paper, there's nothing stopping you using an old envelope and maybe cutting a window out of it. Or it could be, right, actually, why did I say that? Wrong thing to say. It could be that you've got some nice paper or you're running out of copy of paper, but you just need to be really careful. So you need to cut out a window, okay? And what you could do is just extend your picture from here, okay? And work like that. I know you'll end up with a big hole in the middle. What can I say? But you could actually still extend your picture actually from this little section that you have. So that is a possibility. Now, how do you cut that hole out, you might ask? Well, okay, if you have a ruler, if you have a ruler and you've got everything already set up, that'd be great, but I haven't. Okay, so if you have a ruler, what you can do, you can measure how far in you want to actually do this picture. So I might say I want to do my square, I might want to go in 70 centimeters, and I might draw a line like so. Okay, if you can see that, because I don't want it on center. If I do want it on center, I'm going to have to measure right across, find halfway, mark it out, do the same at the bottom, mark it out, draw a line down the middle, and I would have to do the same the other way, and then work from the center cross, from the center point, and measure out and do it that way. But that is another complicated method. So I could say I want 40 here, and I want 40 here. So I could be like measuring. Oh, it doesn't look straight, so I'm going to sort of cheat now. Shh, I didn't say that. So I could make sure that I want this to be like 80 high. 80 high. I hope that you can see this. You probably can't because not everything's in screenshot. Okay, and I noticed this video is going on for quite a long time. I'm trying to fit so much in and it's really, really difficult. And I want this square to be like 100. So, and then what you would do, once you've drawn your square, my square's a bit pitiful, I've not finished it properly, then I could pierce it like so and then cut it out, okay? So that is not too difficult to work out. The alternative is, and I'll just cheat a little bit, or let's see, this is another cheater's way. It's quick, it's simple, might be easier. So you've got your piece of paper, you might find a square piece of paper from a notepad, you could place it down, you could draw all the way around it, okay, right, and then you can cut it out, okay, so you could place that anywhere you want it, even on a tilt, okay. You could also alternatively, okay, find a card, okay, as it says, embrace your inner cat lady. Okay, I do try, but you know, some days it's really hard. So you could actually get your card and you could place that around. You might still have Christmas cards, and you can draw around it and cut out that hole, and then you could place it on there, okay, so that you could extend your picture from there. So even if you can't print off anything, you can't find a magazine, there are other options for you to do. Okay, so that's the end of section 2. I've waffled for 10 minutes. Well done me.